Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. It's me TFR Wilderness and welcome to this month's end of month bot haul where I show you all the Transform related items that I've picked up throughout the month. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of stuff to get through this month. Was it 17 items I've got to show you? So yeah, this might be quite a lengthy video, one of my sort of greater hauls for this year. Also there was a couple of events that happened, like minor events that happened throughout the month, which I'd like to recount, but unfortunately I doubt whether I'll remember to mention them all throughout the video, but we'll have to wait and see. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So as I usually do, on the first of the month I placed a bunch of orders, and I placed orders for 2 Korean toys from G-Market. Now it was shortly after this that I had a bit of a problem. One of the orders I placed for one of the figures, I got an email a few hours later. My order had been cancelled. I wasn't given a proper reason why, but I think similar problems like this has happened to me buying stuff off 11th Street in the past. I think the seller who listed the item as international shipping, once he realised he had to ship the item to the UK, he got cold feet and decided to cancel the order. And then when I went into my account to see what had happened, I went onto the order and it had strangely changed from international shipping to Korean shipping only. And I thought, yeah, I know what's going on here. So I was like one figure down. So I looked around, and I'm still on G-Market, by the way. I looked around and I saw another seller selling the same figure, and I went to buy that, but again it said something cropped up saying, oh, this item is not available for shipping to your country, or something daft like that. I just couldn't get my head around it, and I was struggling, and not many sellers were selling this particular figure. So I looked around, and then I eventually found the figure, and I was presented with this picture. So you see there, you've got the main figure and these 3 smaller figures. Now the price was slightly less than the price I was paying for the main figure previously. So I went ahead and bought it. It went through, no problems. And I wasn't 100% sure what I'd actually bought. Had I bought the big figure, the small figures, or all of them? So yeah, I wasn't sure whether I was getting one figure or 4 figures. So a bit of a confusion there. But anyway, that happened, so let's move on, shall we? Then I was looking on eBay, and I happened to see an eBay seller selling a couple of Studio Series 86 figures that I wanted. So I made a purchase of them, and they arrived on the 4th and were the subject of my first unboxing video. So the first figure is Studio Series Voyager Hot Rod. Yeah, so he's priced as a Voyager, but he's not a Voyager, is he? I mean, if you go and watch, what's his name, Dennis Moulton, aka Gotbot, and he did his review on this, and he was going, not a Voyager, He was really harping on about the fact that, it was basically a deluxe figure masquerading as a Voyager. And we've seen a lot of this lately in the Transformers line. We've seen like Cliff Jumper, a while ago. We had like Deluxe Cliff Jumper. He was like no bigger than a Legends class. Leader classes are now basically Voyager figures, sort of dolled up with a load of extra kibble. It's a bit disappointing that they're scaling down the figures in these lines be subterfuge. But anyway, he's still a good figure. He's a decently articulated, decently engineered, comes with a butt ton of accessories to justify his Voyager price point, but he's not bad. But I refused to pay the Voyager price point for this guy, and then I happened to find an eBay seller who was selling this, instead of $32.99, was selling it for 25 quid. And when it arrived, it was still sealed, so it was effectively a new figure. So I got this for technically sort of high-end sort of deluxe money, and I got this figure on the cheap. So I got him, and then from the same seller I managed to finally get hold of Studio Series Scourge. very much, you know, a very popular bot when he came out, sold out virtually everywhere. I missed my chance to get him when he first came out. And yeah, and now he's full on scalper bait. Anybody who's got one for sale is asking, you know, ridiculous, you know, inflated prices for it. So I really wanted one, and this seller was selling this for 40 quid, you know, with free shipping. So between the pair of them, 40 quid for this guy, 25 quid for this guy. It was 65 quid I paid for the pair. But if you add the figure up, the 65 quid, and then divide it by 2, you get, you know, £32.50, which is less than the £32.99 you would have paid for them retail price originally. So technically I've got these for just under retail price for the pair. But anyway, Scourge. He looks really good. He looks great in robot mode. He looks amazing in alt mode. The transformation now, I find it very, very, very disappointing. Basically, you just unpeg his shoulders, fold his arms down, plug his legs together, and then, you know, tuck his head away, and then you just basically fold all this back kibble around to form his alt mode. It says he's got 19 steps, but, you know, the transformation flatters to deceive. I expected, you know, to do a lot more intricate manoeuvres with, you know, the legs and the arms than you actually do, and I was very disappointed with the transformation. Nothing wrong with the bot mode or the alt mode. It's just getting from one to the other. I was just very, very disappointed by it. So I'm not as impressed with this guy as I would have been otherwise, but he's still a decent figure. And even though technically I paid over the odds for it, I'm still glad I got it for the price that I did. I mean, yeah, okay, this mold's getting reissued further down the line with the Studio Series sweep. But, you know, I would have had a second shout at getting hold of the mold that way. Anyway, so I managed to get hold of these guys. Bought them off an eBay seller. They were both mint in box sealed. So yeah, so effectively I got 2 brand new figures. So managed to get hold of those. That was all right. Then on the 6th, that was on Wednesday the 4th, by the way. On Wednesday the 6th, I placed an order for no, it wasn't that. No. Another order I placed on the 1st of the month was for, you know, my IDW comic, and then it arrived on the 6th, but it was the wrong comic. Now I bought it off an eBay seller, and the seller had sent me Beast Wars issue number 4 instead of issue number 6, and I did actually I was actually filming an unboxing video where I decided to throw the unboxing the comic in with it, and when I opened it, it took a moment for the penny to drop, but I realised, oh shit, I've made a mistake, and then I had to stop filming the video, go in the other room, send an email to the eBay, to the shop, and apprise them of the situation, and anyway, so that sort of rumbled on over the next couple of days, but I'm just putting it in there to say that they sent me a comic and it was the wrong one. Let's move on. So next, on the 6th, the same day the comic arrived, another order I'd placed with Comics and Cocktails for a little Generation Selects figure. Again, did an unboxing video on it. Got hold of Generation Selects Transmutate. Yeah, so it's basically Ractonite. Is it Ractonite? No, it's Paleotrex. That's the one. Paleotrex, a repaint of Paleotrex in this gold and teal colour with a few remoulded parts and a new head sculpt. Yeah, when I saw the pictures of this thing, I was very much on the fence about getting it. I was intrigued by it because I quite like the look of the colours. And then I sort of watched a few videos on it, and then I heard the rumours that, you know, Hasbro Pulse, you know, the delays of this figure to Hasbro Pulse were going to be, well, yeah, the figure was going to be delayed getting in stock at Hasbro Pulse, especially for the Americans. And Comics and Cocktails had it in stock, and I sort of had a bit of a look-see, and I thought, you know what, I could actually justify getting this, because it's a version of Transmutate. Now, obviously, I'm a bit of a Beast Wars fan. I haven't actually got the episode from season 2, Transmutate, where this character appears. I do remember it being a freak, you know, because something went wrong with something went wrong with the stasis pod when it landed, and this freakish bot came out. And then you had, what was it, Rampage and Silverbolt were vying for its affections, and it had these freakishly freakish powers where it could have this, like, what was it? It was like a sonic scream or something that it could do. Anyway, basically the end of the episode, the character does something amazing. It dies in a huge explosion, and I can't remember much about the episode, but it was very memorable and different sort of episode that they did. But there's been a few different versions of Transmutate over the years. I just thought I ought to get it, because even though it's basically a Fossilizer dressed up as Transmutate, it's actually not bad, and the colours. I mean, the gold and the teal just looks amazing. So I decided to get it, and it's all right. Plus the fact these Fossilizers, you can put them together to make all sorts of outrageous creations, because they're like plug and play, parts on them, and it's more parts for that. So I managed to get hold of Transmutate. It's an okay figure. It's a great figure. It was just something to buy for the sake of buying it, really, but actually it's not a bad figure, and when I think about it, I can justify buying it myself in many different ways. So managed to get hold of that, and that arrived on the 6th. Then 9th, right, first KTRT arrived. Just done a review on him and an unboxing video. Tobot V Season 3 number 5 Big Boss. When I saw this, I thought, that looks amazing. I've got to get me that. Transforms into a bus. Got quite a few Korean bus formers. Don't know why the Koreans like doing bus formers. Transformers never done one as far as I'm aware. But he's a great figure. Love the colours. Slightly hampered articulation, because his elbows only go to barely go to 45 degrees. They've got one notch, and then they because of the blocky nature of his arms, they just sort of jam up. He's a good bot. He's really heavy. He's really chunky. He's an awesome figure, and made a play on him. Managed to get him off G Market for a sensible price. So managed to get hold of him, and then we move forward to the 11th, when the next figures arrive. Now, going back to what I said at the beginning of the month about an order being cancelled, that order for that figure that, I showed you the picture, you've got like the big figure and the small figures. It arrived along with a third KTRT figure that I bought off 11th Street. Now, 11th Street, I've been having trouble buying stuff off 11th Street of late. Their website, there's something about it. I mean, I was using the Google Chrome browser to browse the 11th Street website, and it was having problems with it, because the Google Chrome browser was flagging their website up as being unsafe, and it was deliberately, at least I assume it was deliberately blocking any attempts I made at purchasing stuff off that website. Every time I went onto an item and I went to click, the purchase button, it would throw me back out to the home page, and it got really frustrating. I just couldn't buy anything off that site because of this problem. So what I thought, well, what if I use a different web browser? So I tried logging in using a different web browser, like the Microsoft Edge on the desktop, and it wouldn't work. The login just wouldn't work, and I tried and it just couldn't log in. So I had to continue using my Google Chrome login, which was like an automatic login on my phone. And so after a while I realised, well, what is the problem here? Why can't I log in using a different browser? And then I thought, well, maybe it's a problem with the password. So then I went into the settings, I looked at the password, and I counted the number of dots for the password number, and the reference for the password that I had written down, and it was 1 digit out. So there was obviously a fault with the password. So what I did was I reset the password, and now I can log in to 11th Street using different browsers like Microsoft Edge, or the Samsung what's it called, Android internet browser on my phone. So in order to test this theory that I can now buy stuff without interference from Google Chrome, I placed an order, and well, this guy got hold of Hello Carbot's Ricops. Now this guy is usually he's kind of expensive because he's one of those big. He's one of these Carbot crew or crewmaster figures, because he comes with a lot of minifigures like this. I mean, he's got one in each shoulder, and he's got, you know, 2 each in the legs. So yeah, they are big, they are expensive. I've got some. Hang on, let's put this back in here. Right. So yeah, I've got Iron T, and he's one of them. And they did an ambulance and a fire engine and a police one. And they've done a few. You know, they did quite a few, but they're very big. They're very impressive figures. They come with all these extra, you know, accessories, and they're quite expensive. But when I went on to 11th Street, I noticed that this guy's on heavy discount, massive heavy discount. You know, so I decided to buy him, and after a couple of days, I got a notification. Oh, you need to pay more shipping on it. So I had an additional shipping fee on it, but I still got it for, what was it? Just over 50 quid, 51 quid, I think, all up for this guy. He's very, very big. I mean, size comparison. You know, put him next to a Voyager figure. You know, he's as you can see, he's rather large, and he's got lots of ratitude. Struggles to stand up with his big flappy feet, but he's a decent figure, and I wanted to get him, and he arrived on the what was it, the 11th, and yeah, so yeah, managed to get hold of him. And then also on the 11th, my other KTRT arrived, the one which, as you saw at the earlier in the video, that picture where you had the small figure, well, the big figure and the 3 small figures. I wasn't sure what was going to arrive, because I was under the impression I was going to be getting 4 figures, but when it turned up, I only actually got the 1. But it was the one that I wanted, and I got him cheaper than the other sellers that were offering him, because it was that order that got cancelled at the beginning of the month. And it was this guy, Tobot V, Season 3, 04, Regent. Now, the aesthetic on this thing, especially in his alt mode, he transforms into an off-road buggy, and I absolutely love his alt mode, because it looks a lot like a Tamiya Frog, in my opinion. And I love the teal and the black on this thing. You know, really colourful. But unfortunately, in robot mode, he's got these stupid heel wheels, which means he really struggles to stand up in certain poses, because the wheels just spin and they don't lock into place. So he's got some, and also this weird sort of jutty outy forward angled, you know, sort of chest is a bit weird on him as well. So he's got some issues in robot mode, which sort of, you know, temper my enthusiasm for it, but it's an okay figure. It's all right, and I would have got it anyway just because of the alt mode. But yeah, he was kind of disappointing when he arrived, when I messed around with him. But I managed to get hold of him, and yeah, it's a bit disappointing that I didn't get the 3 minifigures to go with it. But I think it was a and or rather than you get all this stuff if you buy this. You know what I mean. I'm pretty sure when I did the purchase, there was 2 different options. There was like a little option underneath that said that it was all in Korean, and I looked for the Hangul for, you know, Regent's name, and I picked that option. So if I'd have picked the other one, I probably would have got the minifigures. But anyway, so there we go. I managed to get hold of him, and he's okay for the most part, but he's got some rather unavoidable issues. So yeah, and that was on the 11th. Also on the 11th, I placed an order for a figure off eBay. It was for because there's a couple of things that went wrong this month. I mean, obviously, I had that Korean toy got cancelled at the beginning of the month, and then on the 11th, I also placed an order for a figure on eBay, which is a figure I've been after for a while, which is a Classics Ravage. You know the 2-pack. You had Classics Hound, and he came with a Ravage. I got the Hound from a car boot sale for like 20 pence, and I was really after the Ravage, and I found somebody who I thought was selling one, so I placed an order, and then a couple of days later I got an email to say, oh, you know, your order's been cancelled. And the seller, when I questioned the seller about why it had been cancelled. He said apparently he'd mislaid the item in his collection and he couldn't find it. So instead of giving me the choice to wait to give him time to find it, he just cancelled the order outright and gave me my money back. So that was disappointing. That was something that could have been, but wasn't. So yeah, that was another thing that went kind of wrong this month. So it was they say bad things come in threes, but we've still got the palaver of the comic to sort out, haven't we? So next, what we got next? Right, so now a little bit of a side to my collection. Recently, I've been noticing, because when I put all the stuff I buy from these hauls every month, it goes into a box at the bottom of my bed in my room, and then that fills up over the course of the month, and then you get the end of the month. I do my end of month bot haul video, and then we move on to the next month. I start making my purchases for that month, and as soon as stuff starts coming in, anything that's in that box goes up in the loft. Now I'm getting a bit concerned about weight in the loft. There's a lot of stuff up there. Not only is my Transformers, and the vast bulk of my Transformers collection up there, I've also got my RC car collection and loads of other household junk that's up there. So I'm getting concerned about it. So I've been looking to relocate a lot of the stuff I've got in the loft down into the house and in my mum's bedroom, because actually, I mean, you will see this video on the 31st of August, which is the first anniversary of my mother passing away last year. So I'm actually filming this on the Sunday before, because even though I've booked the Tuesday off work, I'm not going to be doing any other stuff on that day, because I just want to have a day of quiet reflection over the year I've had without my mother. So anyway, moving on. So my mum's room it has a load of fitted wardrobes around the walls. My sister came up back in the last month and she cleared out all my mum's clothes and took them away for recycling or for charity shops. So a lot of empty cupboard space. So I've decided to utilise that for bot storage. So I've made a start on the process of getting the stuff out of the loft and putting it into the cupboards. So I went up there with the kitchen scales and I was measuring the biggest, heaviest boxes that I could, and I got the biggest, heaviest stuff out and bring the bottom downstairs and started filling up one of the cupboards, and this is what you get. So now, as you can see, I've got a cupboard. It's full up with Korean stuff and other large, heavy, third-party and official figures in boxes. Still a lot more to go. There's more cupboard space I need to sort of sort out, shuffle stuff around to make more space. So it's an ongoing process. Hopefully over the next sort of month or so I might be able to bring more stuff down, make more space upstairs, and thus be able to improve the situation all round for my collection storage. So that was something else that I sort of did this month. Like I said, it's an ongoing thing, but moving on to the collection. So, what we got next? Right. Okay, 16th of August. A couple of pre-orders came in this month. Most notably, a pre-order that I placed the back end of last month because I had some money left over, and when I saw the prices that this figure was going for on other websites, I decided to get it from Comics and Cocktails, because they've been doing quite well lately, getting stuff in stock, and their prices have been pretty reasonable, and they do free shipping. So yes. I got the big guy. I got Titan class Autobot Arc. He's alright. He's pretty good. He's got some little issues. Like you could probably see that one of his engines hasn't got the light blue paint in it. So to me, he's got like three out of his 4 engines are actually working. So one of his engines isn't working properly. He's I have some minor gripes over this thing. Most notably in ship mode, where you've got those big gaps towards the back. It hasn't got the nice curved sort of wings going all the way back to the rear of the craft. It's just got the big sort of gaps where his legs slide out. So when he's transformed, you've got that big gap there that forms the rear of the ship. And also on his arms, he's got these cuff links here. They could have put a hinge and where they fold in around the back of the arm, but it does have these sort of panels that when you fold the arms up, they fold away, and then these like little panels fold out to fill out the void in the back of the arms. That's pretty good. It's all right. Feels a bit lightweight for a Titan. So I decided to weigh it with my Scorponok and my Omega Supreme, and yeah, I wrote the figures down somewhere, but basically, Scorponok, I think he's like fat end of 3 kilos, but then again he's got a lot of stuff going on. Omega Supreme was about 2.4 kilos, and this guy, he is without his guy in here. He's a bit lightweight. He's just over 2 kilos in maximum weight. Size-wise, he's a little bit bigger than Omega Supreme. Not quite as big as Scorponok, and obviously not as big as Fort Max. So he's probably the lightest Titan they've done to date. I haven't weighed Fort Max, but he's going to be a big heavy boy. But he's okay. He's all right. I had a bit of a mare trying to get him back into ship mode because of the way the shoulders work. I missed a transformation step and I was trying to cram it together, and one of the pegs was annoying me, so I shaved a bit off it, but it's not too bad. He's got decent light piping. He's okay. If you can get him for a decent price, he's worth a shot. And it transforms into the Ark. It transforms into the Ark. I mean, yeah, I'm sure third-party companies will come to the rescue and sort out some of the otherwise issues that this guy has, but he's okay. He's all right. He's a thing. But he comes with this guy. He comes with Mainframe, aka Teletran 1. I love this thing. This thing is amazing. Now, I thought at first that this was a deluxe figure, and I didn't really think much of it, but then I thought, well, hang on a minute. He's not a deluxe. He's a Voyager. So he's basically a Voyager scale bot, and he's got a lot of weight to him because he's actually got all these panels folded up round his legs and on his back that form the computer bank when he forms Teletran 1. He's got amazing light piping. He also holds the gold discs in his backpack, and he's also got that other thing in his chest. Got that whatever they call it, that sort of was it fly spy or whatever it's called? I think that's in the original cartoon. It's that little probe that the Ark sends out to scan the Earth forms so that they can give the Transformers Earth modes. I think that's what it's supposed to represent. But no, he's a decent figure. I mean, I've been playing with this guy a bunch since I got him. I mean, he does fold up into the bridge section for the Ark, and you can actually plug him inside. And he carries all the accessories with him, so he's pretty cool like that. He's got issues, but on the whole, I'm really, really impressed with this figure. He's heavy, chunky. Pretty cool looking thing. It's got 3 modes. I mean, okay, yeah, where he transforms into that block for the bridge section on the Ark is neither here nor there. But I quite like it. I really like this thing. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. So yeah, Mainframe. Go figure. It's actually pretty good. So they arrived on the 16th. And it was a busy day for packages because I had a bunch of packages when I got home from work, And the next sort of package to arrive was from AliExpress, and it was for their Extreme Warfare, Dr. Wu's Extreme Warfare DWE03. What was it? Intelligence Officer, and D02 Intelligence Officer, and D03 Big Surge. So they're these like mini Soundwave and Beachcomber. Now I bought this set for Beachcomber because Beachcomber is one of those figures that I decided to character mold set collect, so I needed to get this. The Beachcomber is a very, very simple bot. It's stupidly simple. Looks good in robot mode, but then you transform it into its alt mode, and it end up with a really, really boxy car. I suppose given his size, they couldn't have done much more with it, to be honest. And articulation wise, he's just got like the basic points of articulation. He's got knees, hips, eyes, shoulders and elbows. He's got basic 4-point articulation, and yeah. He's a bit crude. However, the Soundwave, on the other hand, is awesome. He's amazing. I mean, he actually transforms into the mini sort of cassette deck. He's got decent amount of articulation. He's got a waist joint and he's got a head swivel, which the other guy hasn't got. He's got ball jointed feet. He's got so much stuff going on. And his alt mode is virtually perfect. So he was one of those extra figures. I mean, I bought it for this guy. I bought the set for this guy, but he came as a Brucey bonus, and he is a much, much better, more accomplished figure than this guy. So, like I said, this guy's really disappointing, but this guy is absolutely awesome. And the other thing is, I mean, I kind of like G1 Soundwave, and I've been trying to get a selection of G1 Soundwaves, all different size classes, right from like the WST, the world's smallest transformer, right the way up to the Masterpiece. And this is another figure that can go in that lineup. And I've got quite a few different variants of the the G1 Soundwave over the years, and I'm slowly building up a rising size class selection of them. So that's something that's going on. So I managed to get hold of those. And they also arrived on the 16th, and as did something else. Another order from Comics and Cocktails that I placed earlier in the month for some other figures. Wingfinger and Rhinox from the Kingdom line. So yeah, again, looking to buy more Kingdom figures. Managed to get these guys. Wingfinger is the last of the sort of Fossilizer molds that they're doing. He turns into like a pterosaur. Really skinny, lanky sort of dude. Very unusual aesthetic, but he's pretty cool otherwise. I mean, I kind of like the strangeness and the weirdness of these these figures, these Fossilizer. So I wanted to get the set, and he's just another one. And I managed to get hold of Wingfinger, and he's kind of weird. And then Rhinox. Now I've got the Generations Thrilling 30 Rhinox, and he's pretty good. He's pretty damn good. So I wanted to give this one a try. This one is a lot chunkier. There's a lot more. I mean, he's got a really good weight to him. He's got a decent amount of plastic in him, and he's pretty stiff, whereas the Generations one is known for its loose hip joints. But no, it looks pretty good. Bit more sort of screen accurate, but more so to the Kingdom War for Cybertron Kingdom cartoon rather than the original B1 Beast Wars cartoon. Looks great. Bit interesting to transform. There's a few fiddly bits, but he's a really decent figure, and managed to get him from Comics and Cocktails because again they was getting the Kingdom stuff in before Hasbro. So why buy it from Hasbro when you can get it from a retailer like Comics and Cocktails? So got it from them. And that says to that. What was that? That was the 16th. Right, the next day, the 17th, my replacement comic arrived. So this was the comic I was supposed to get. Beast Wars number 6. Now it has one of these covers on it, which are by Dan Schoening or Schooning. They're all much of a muchness. They have like a yellow border. They have a white background with the 2 characters on. And the comic they sent me before, which was issue 4, had that cover on it. So you can probably see, maybe it was possible that there was a mix-up when they sent my order out, because you know these Schooning covers are much of a muchness. Very good issue otherwise. I really enjoyed this issue. It's really, really good. Where the Predacons and the Maximals are having their out-and-out battle outside, and yeah, it was really, really good. There were some nods to events of previous sort of like Beast Wars cartoons and Beast Machines references in this, so I quite appreciated that. So I finally got it. So in order to get this problem fixed that I had with this comic, like I said, I purchased it on the 1st. Then it arrived on the 6th, but it was a wrong comic, so I contacted the shop. There was a couple of messages and phone calls and emails that went backwards and forwards. Eventually they contacted me and says, it's got the invoice had a free post returns address on it, so I posted the comic back to them, and then a few days later the replacement arrived. So they sorted it out in the end. So yeah, managed to get hold of this decent comic. Had a bit of a problem trying to get hold of it, but got it now, and yeah, it was definitely a really worthy read. So next. Right, so that was the 17th. So on the 18th, another figure that I bought off eBay. Now, for a while, I've Soundwave's cassettes. I've got quite a few. I've got pretty much all the Masterpiece ones, but I haven't got all the G1 ones. I mean, recently I got hold of Frenzy or Rumble, the blue one, and I realised I hadn't got Buzzsaw. Now, I've got Laserbeak, so I wanted to get hold of Buzzsaw. So I was looking online to get hold of a Buzzsaw, and a lot of the times you get an original Buzzsaw because he came bundled with the original G1 Soundwave. And a lot of the Buzzsaws that are out there, the original ones, they're battered to buggery. They're broken, they're missing the accessories, they got all the decals are knackered on them. They're no good. And so I was looking for a Buzzsaw. There was a few I was looking at buying, and then this eBay item came up with this guy selling one, like a cassette bird listed as Laserbeak. But when I looked at it, it was obviously Buzzsaw. So when it arrived, I believe this is a reissue because it's got a rub symbol on it, and it's very, very, very clean. It's got all his accessories. Super tight joints, and yeah, got me a Buzzsaw. Now, here's Laserbeak, right? Now I've got Buzzsaw. Now, Buzzsaw is the original bird that came, laser bird, Robo bird that came with Soundwave. But ever since Transformers the movie, Laserbeak's taken over, and he's basically become the mainstay sort of cassette minion for Soundwave. And poor old Buzzsaw has been sort of left in the dust. So when you look at these two figures, all I can say is underdog, glory hog. Yeah, so Laserbeak has taken all the praise and all the plaudits, for being Soundwave's number one sort of cassette minion, and poor old Buzzsaw's just been left in the dust. And I think that's wrong. I mean, I like Buzzsaw probably more so than Laserbeak, just because he's the underdog and the lesser of the two characters. And I just wanted to get hold of a version of him, and now I've got one. So I've got both the Robo Condors, and yeah, so finally got hold of a Buzzsaw. So yeah, I'm really happy to do that. And on the same day, another eBay purchase that I made. Now this is a weird one. You probably won't be able to see this. This is a Diaclone driver stroke pilot. Now, it's got a little die-cast body and it's got little arms that move up and down, and the legs move up and down. And these came with the pre-Transformers transforming figures that they're called, the Diaclones. And the reason I bought this is because I wanted it to go with my KO Diaclone Starscream. If I can just get him out, because he's in here. So this is my Kingdom Diaclone Jet Robo, and you can tell it's the KO because it's got like a hard nose cone, not a rubber one, and the moulding's not so great on it. But it's got a cockpit which you can open up, and then you can put your pilot inside. So he's supposed to go with G1 Starscream, and that's what I wanted to get him for. Now, on closer inspection of this guy, I don't think he's an original one. I think he's a KO because he's got a lot of moulding flash around the neck, around the head and the neck, and he's got sort of sprue nubbins off the top of his legs and his arms. And yeah, so I think this is a KO one, but I'm not really bothered. I didn't pay much money for it, but 11, 12 quid. The moulding on the casting on the chest piece is a bit not very crisp. It's a bit smudgy and not so well defined. And also, he's missing. You can see he's got these little pegs on his feet. Now, I was looking at pictures of the original Diaclone characters, and they're supposed to have these little black blocks on the feet, and these blocks are missing. I don't know whether they were die cast to help them stand up, but I've managed to get some shoes, make some shoes for him. Just put these on. Right, I've managed to make some booties for him, so now he will stand up. There we go, and he wouldn't do that before. So yeah, what I got was some they're pieces off a railway sleeper off some 00HO railway track, and just cut it off and made it into a pair of boots for him. So now he will stand up, and he will again and he'll still fit in Starscream's cockpit. So that, again, a little something that I picked up this month. I just happened to see it and thought, oh, I've got to get me one of those, just as an accessory to go with my Kingdom Diaclone, Jet Robo. So that was seemed to be the last thing that I bought this month, and you'd think that was all that's going on. But actually, a couple of days ago, I got notification from not Kapow, Hasbro Pulse, that a couple of my pre-orders that I placed early in the year are going to get delivered. Now, I had a bit of bother with Hasbro Pulse because when I got my account back in was it April when Hasbro Pulse UK launched, March or whenever it was. Anyway, I placed an order for. I took out the Hasbro Pulse premium membership, and I ordered Wind Air Razor off them, and that was the first thing I ordered. And then shortly after that, we had that Fun First Friday or whatever it was, where they revealed all the Wave 3 Kingdom figures, and I wanted to buy a couple of those. Well, pre-order a couple of those, and I pre-ordered Trax and Scorponok. And then as the months went on, other things came up for pre-order, like Studio Series 86 Wave 3 figures. So I decided to put some money down on Retgar and the Sharkticon. And there was a few other things came up. And now I put these early pre-orders in with my old debit card. But then a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, my debit card, the magnetic strip on the back went bad because my car was worn out, because I was just getting it in and out of my wallet all the time. to use it for contactless payments during the COVID, and the card was just getting worn out from all this activity. And eventually I went to use it in the cash machine at outside my bank, and it wouldn't work. It kept spitting my card out, saying my card was faulty. So it turns out the magnetic strip had screwed up on it, and I had to order a new one. Of course, when you get a new card, it has a brand new number on it, and you have to re-register your card with any places that you make online payments. And then I went into my because I was pre-ordering something else off Hasbro Pulse. And then I noticed that it was saying that my older pre-orders were listing the old card number. I was a bit worried about this. I thought, well, if this stuff comes in stock and they go to ship it out, there's going to be a big old problem. So I went through, and fortunately, there's a way you can change the payment options on your items after the fact. You can go in, you can change the payment options, change it to a different card or whatever, and all's good. So I did that, didn't think anything of it. And then I got the notification that they were shipping this figure out, and they said there was a problem with one of the figures. Now, both these figures were on the same order. So they were item 1 and item 2, Scorponok and then Trax. And, I don't know why, but it only changed the card, the payment type, the payment update on the first figure on the order and not the second. So I got this notification from Hasbro Pulse, there's a problem with your order, we can't ship it until you sort out the payment. So I had to go in and change the payment on it. And fortunately, they managed to get it done in time to ship the items out for this weekend. And I came back from... when did they arrive? On the 28th, yeah, that was it. On Saturday the 28th. I had to go out to work on Saturday to do some overtime, and when I got back there was 2 packages waiting for me. And I got hold of Kingdom, Scorponok and Trax. Now, I got them out the other day and had a play with them, and they both annoy me in equal measure, to be honest. Things about them. Scorponok's very stumpy. He's very, very short. Put him next to this guy, and you can see he's quite short. And when you're transforming him, the transformation is a bit weird. You kind of crack his chest open, tuck his head down, then you fold one of his legs into his chest. The other leg tucks up behind the tail. And you just fold the claws round, and that's it. And it's not that great, to be honest. I'm not that impressed with the transformation on this thing. I'm surprised he's as small as he is, because in the original show, Scorponok was quite a big character. He's quite big, and really, this guy should have been a Voyager. But there you go. I managed to get him. He's all right, I suppose. But I was kind of hoping for more. And then there's Trax. Now, I'd heard rumours that Trax has got some QC issue of his own, most notably surrounding the legs and these stupid panels here. These panels. They don't really lock into place. And as the foot is attached to the bottom of this panel, as it swings round, that's a bit of a problem. Transforming this guy, getting the legs or the feet to cram into the cockpit mode is a bit awkward as well. So I had a bit of a mare trying to transform this thing into his car mode first time round. I wasn't using the instructions, and the legs, the way the legs work, absolute garbage. So yeah, I'm not really impressed with this guy either. He's not that good. So there we go, and he was the last figure that I got this month. So that is my haul. Something else I want to mention before I do the first and worst. If you live in the UK, you probably noticed over the last couple of days there's been something on the national news about a factory fire in the town of Leamington Spa in Warwickshire. Well, I live in Leamington Spa, and that factory fire was just around the corner from where I live. So on the was it Friday the 27th, just before I came home from work, because I finished work half day on a Friday, I could see this big plume of black smoke on the horizon. And as I drove home, it was getting bigger. I was literally driving straight towards it, and getting bigger and bigger. And it was on an industrial unit, which is just the other side of the main road that goes around the back of my estate. And when I got home, this was the view that greeted me. So you can see this big plume of grey smoke was going up into the sky. Fortunately, the wind was carrying the fumes in the opposite direction to where my house was. But yeah, it was a plastics factory that went up in smoke, and yeah, it was a big old fire. It was raging for, well, since sort of late morning right the way through to the evening before they got it under control. But yeah, and so that happened in my area. That was something I wanted to throw in. Yeah, I literally live round the corner from where that big old factory fire was. So yeah. So right, there's my haul for this month, August. I mean, August would usually be like you know, TF Nation haul, because you know this is the month where you get TF Nation. But obviously because of COVID, the last couple of years, TF Nation can't hold the full convention, so they've been doing these big broadcast sort of virtual convention things. But anyway, my haul, very good haul this month. Got lots of stuff. Again, 3 KTRTs, might have been 6 KTRTs, as I was hoping. But yeah, a couple of pre-orders came in. Yeah, did quite well this month. So, right, first and worst. Now, right. First and worst. So, yeah, I really like this guy. I've been playing with him a bunch. He's a really fun figure to mess around with. I mean, yes, he's got some unconventional alt modes, and he's a brand new character effectively, because you know we've never seen his like before, and you know, we've never had a transforming arc before. We've never had a transforming Teletran 1 before. So yeah, very interesting. I actually really like this thing, and I think I like it a little bit more than everything else I got this month. So that's that. And then tracks. It's mainly because of the engineering on the legs. It's not fantastic. It's really crap. I know there's somebody doing like a 3D printed sort of piece you can put in to secure the legs a lot better. I don't know whether I'll get that. But I was going to get him anyway, because you know he's a Kingdom figure, and I thought, yeah, all right, I'll give that guy a go. But yeah, I'm really not impressed with this guy. And there was a few figures that were sort of vying for the wooden spoon this month. But I think he's probably, you know, the one that's taken the cake, or you know, take the biscuit. So yeah, he's the worst thing. So there we go. That's my haul for this month. Now, one more thing before I go. On Tuesday the 17th, I hit 700 subscribers. So yeah, I owe you a subscriber review video. I've already done the thumbnail for it. I will be doing it as my first review next month. So in the next couple of days, possibly on the Saturday, Tuesday, hang on. Saturday the 4th of September, I will probably do my 700 subs video. So look forward to that. So that's been me, TFR Wilderness. That's my my haul for this month finished. Hopefully I will see you next month for like 700 subs video, and whatever else I decide to get up to. So without further ado, I bid you adieu. I've been TFR Wilderness. Ta-da.